Hi everyone, it's Christine Kopr with Sotheby's Realty. I hope you're enjoying an excellent summer thus far. It's been an interesting time with great weather and some smoke in the air. However, I'm sure most of you are getting out there and trying to enjoy yourselves as safely as you can, making up for the last year and a half, which is a big part, I think, of our story today. Among seasonal trends, the big news is that our listings have vanished in July. July had a historic low in terms of new listings. It's a 20-year low. And in perspective and what's been happening in the real estate market in the more short term here, this has been the lowest month of new listings since last year. So when we look at the numbers, we're going to take a quick peek at that so you can see how the new listings coming on have really slowed down from what they were earlier on as we came out of this low inventory situation. Now, the thing is that we're still sitting in a low inventory situation and we're starting to get to that cusp of where things might go. What's going to happen in the fall? That's the big thing that we need to look out for, because I have a feeling that with, obviously we have our seasonal trends going on right now. Summer is seasonally and historically a slower time, but I think more so this summer with people just getting out there, people wanting a break, and whether you've been in the market trying to buy or sell, or if you're a realtor working in the market or a mortgage broker, people need a bit of a break, or you've just been somebody who just needs to get out and enjoy life. There's been a little bit of a shift. Come September, though, I think that could be a whole other thing, and we could potentially see a lot more inventory coming on the market, which could be beneficial to you if you've been looking for a new home or thinking about a home in the coming weeks and months ahead. If you're thinking about selling, then you're going to definitely need to take a look at different strategies there. But let's take a look at these numbers, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on and some more nuances that could play out with some of the new news that's coming out recently. So just going to share my screen here as always. So let's just do the quick look at the numbers. So here you can see from January down to July for 2021. I quickly did this up so that you could have the information, but so that you could see what's going on in the marketplace. So July, what happened? We had 3326 sales. So sales were up 6.3% year over year, but down 11.6%, so almost 12% month over month from June. As you can see, we did 3762 sales in June. Now here's where you can see, and before we jump into new listings, you can see that we've had a trend over the last 4 months. Ever since March, sales have been trending down. March really was the peak in terms of the market and the activity in the market pushing up prices. And anyhow, here we are at 3326 sales. It's still a very healthy number, and in fact, it's 11.6% above the 10-year average. Now, new listings, this is the number that we've been really talking about. We had 4,377 homes listed on the real estate board at Greater Vancouver. Now remember, folks, this covers everywhere from Whistler all the way out to Maple Ridge. It doesn't include the Fraser Valley, which is areas like Surrey, and some of the other boards, which include Chilliwack. So it's a broad spectrum, and this gives you an overarching look at what's happening in the market. So 4,377 new homes were listed in the month of July, which is a 26% decrease year over year. So we were in the midst of a lockdown last year at this time. But also it's a 25% decrease month over month. So you can see it's a substantial decrease compared to how many homes were listed back in June. But if we take a look back, actually we were doing 7,100 in May, 7,900 in April, and March we had hit 9,100 new listings in the month of March alone. And of course, as you know, if you've been following me and listening to my videos, it's not just about the new listings and not just about the sales, it's how is the total inventory and how do the sales play into that, because we end up with our months of inventory, which is our indicator for supply and demand. So we're going to look at that and see how this is all trended out. And as I mentioned, this July was the weakest in terms of new listings in the last 11 years. For detached, there's actually a 20-year low in the amount of homes that were listed for detached in the month of July. Now, total listings are sitting at 9,850. We're down 18.5% year over year, and we're down 1.9% month over month. So the inventory in total is coming down based on the amount of sales that we do in compensating for some of those new listings that are coming on. And you can see now trending back, we're getting closer to where we were in inventory between March and April, where we're sitting at 91 and then jumped up to 10,200 homes available between the months of March and April, where we had some higher sales. Now, going from there, we're going to take a look at months of inventory. So months of inventory is now sitting at 3 months of inventory. And again, if you follow me, you should know by now that 4 months and below, so less than 4 months of inventory, is considered a seller's market for the broad spectrum of all homes on the real estate board of Greater Vancouver. If we sit there for a sustaining period, and as you can see, we have been sitting in under 4 months of inventory since all the way last year, and thus we're still sitting in the seller's markets across all categories, albeit it's starting to shift slightly depending on which category you're looking at. If you want more detail on that, of course, reach out to me. We can talk more about that. Now, we're going to see how sales are going to do once we get through August and September, and once the new listings come on. Can the sales keep up with the potential inventory we're going to see this fall? Is everyone going to stop thinking about selling now that we've seen such strong price appreciation year over year? Or are people going to stay back because we've got the new Delta variant that's coming in, having a little bit of an impact on what we thought was going to be our new normal? So we are sitting in a seller's market inventory, or seller's market for all home types, whether it's detached, townhouses, or condos. And when it comes to benchmark price, the benchmark price is sitting at 1.175. Now, it's basically remaining the same month over month, but we're still sitting up 13.8% year over year. So if you were in the market over a year ago, you're definitely most likely have got some equity in your pocket. And again, if you want to talk about that, please reach out to us so we can tell you a little bit more specifically for your type of home and your market where you're at. So going to hone into just some of the specifics for the detached market here. So there was 1,050 sales in the month of July for detached homes. Now that's down 6.3% year over year. But the benchmark price for detached home in Greater Vancouver is $1.801 million. So we're up at $1.8 million as the benchmark for a detached home, and that's up 21% year over year and staying the same flat month over month. For townhomes, we did 610 sales. That's up 0.5% year over year. Your benchmark price for a townhome is $949, so $949,000. That's up 16.7, so 17% year over year, and up 0.3% month over month. You can start to see some of these price increase starting to stabilize. And condos, we did 1,666 sales in terms of condos. That's up 0.5% year over year, and your benchmark price for your condo is $736,000. You're up 8.4% year over year and 0.1% month over month. So we can see that the craziness has started to subside. We can see there's been some change in the market. Now the question is, what's going to happen in the fall, August, or at the end of August and coming to September? One thing I've noticed is that we've been consistently sitting at whatever new inventory has come on in the month. Our sales have been about 50% of that. So it hasn't looked like any of that inventory was going to accumulate. We've really been chewing through any new inventory coming on. Obviously, we've had some inventory accumulate over the last few months and things have stabilized, which has been great news, I think, for everybody across the board. But where prices and activity going to go next is up in the air, because chances are we're probably going to see more inventory in the fall, but we also just opened up our borders again. And there's probably a lot of people, for example, from the United States, and we've opened up our borders just to the United States. But as we have immigration and global capital being able to come back into Canada, plus immigration overall, I can't foresee things really changing in terms of a stable real estate market. I just like to think that it's going to be a little bit more consistent and easy to navigate. But of course, the dynamics change and it all depends on what you're up to. So I really welcome the opportunity to have a one-on-one conversations. Reach out to me. You know my number, 604-992-1831. And I'm Christine Kopr with Sotheby's Realty. And I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this in the middle of summer when you could be out there enjoying yourselves. All right, take care, be safe. Talk to you soon.